Uh-oh. Don't date you. Yeah, better not say nothing. That's my cousin.
Oh, that's his voice. Hey, y'all. I'm Ava. I'm a senior at Houston County High School. Before I get started, I just want to highlight the fact that it truly was God that brought me here today. We were actually supposed to have our first round of softball playoffs today, and we found out a few weeks ago that they got moved, giving me this opportunity. So, all glory to God. But without further ado, I'm just going to share a testimony of how God has just completely changed my life. Like a lot of testimonies you've probably heard before, I grew up in a Christian household. I pretty much went to church every single time the doors were open. You can ask any of my family and friends. Every single time there was a youth event going on, I wanted to be involved, whether I went to the church or not. If it was something that I believed in, I wanted to go. I wanted to know more about God, and He truly was, the passion in my life. I remember in elementary school, it would be, 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd be bouncing off the walls. And people would be like, Ava, how are you so happy right now? Like, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. And truly the only answer I could tell them was Jesus. I mean, that truly was the only answer I had and the only happiness that brought me in my life. And going into middle school, though, I didn't realize I was going to face one of the biggest things I'd ever gone through in my entire life. On June 19th, 2019, my granddad passed away, and it completely turned my life upside down. And I mean, really, it was only the only huge trial I had ever experienced in my life. My parents were together. I had pretty much all my family so close to me. My friends were close to me. I never really struggled with self-doubt. So this was the only really big thing that I'd ever gone through, and I had no idea how to handle it. I didn't know what to do, and from that day forth, I really could never find that happiness again. I could never get back to the point where people were like, Ava, how are you so happy? Because I didn't feel happy anymore. I didn't feel worthy of being happy because I allowed that to consume me. And the biggest thing that happened was I allowed that trial to have a hold on me instead of allowing it to mold me. I allowed that trial to have a hold on me instead of allowing it to mold me. I allowed it to dictate my every single decision. I allowed myself to live in fear every single day. I was terrified of what was to come, of what the future held for me because of that one simple thing that happened in my life. The biggest, silliest thing that I did was I tried to hide it from God. And I literally tried to hide it from the creator of the universe. The person who knows every single thing about me, I thought that I could keep my burden to myself. Fast forward the year before freshman year, summer, I got invited to a week-long church event called Wild Bazaar at Shirley Hills Baptist Church. And I was like, you know what do I have to lose, honestly? Like, there's nothing else that I could gain or lose from this, so why not go? I went, and the very first night I sat in my chair, and I didn't realize my life was going to completely change forever. There was a guy speaking that night called Jacob Giles. You might have heard of him before. And he was a baseball player, and like I said, I'm a softball player, so that was already one thing that, we really related to. And I sat and I listened to him, and he explained how, that was what he put his hard work into. Every single day, all the moments of his life led to baseball. Every single thing that he put his hours and just blood, sweat, tears into, it was baseball. And when he got into college, he had this amazing just scholarship set up for him. He was ready to go and just play. And the Lord said, Jacob, this isn't what I want you to do. I need you to fold up your jersey and give it to the coach. And he said, God, something that I have trained for my entire life, you're now going to tell me to fold up my jersey and just give it all away? And God said, yes. And so he did it. He folded up his jersey and he gave it to God. He did it even though he didn't know why. And that was the main thing that stuck to me that night, was that he did it even though he didn't know why. But he did it because God was calling him to do it. I've never gotten out of my chair quicker in my entire life, but I stormed the altar that night, and I was crying tears that I had never cried. And I said, God, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I haven't trusted you with my burdens, God, and I've just kept it to myself. I don't know what I was doing, but please help me. Help me, God. And I could sit here today and I could tell you that everything was perfect after that. That I lived a sinless life, that, everything was great. I didn't go through another trial, but I would be lying. I'd be lying if I sat up here and told you that everything was perfect after that, because it wasn't. But the difference was that I no longer felt like my burden was my own. I no longer felt like my burden that I dealt with was my own. And it took time, but I realized that His glory always shines if I let go of mine. If I continue to just put everything at His feet and just allow Him to be the ruler of my life, then His glory is going to shine. But I was so consumed in the fact that I wanted to deal with my trial on my own that I couldn't see that He had a perfect plan waiting for me. And I know that there's someone out there that's dealing with the exact same thing that I went through. I know that there's someone out there that is experiencing a trial right now, that has in the past, that will in the future, that is going to go through the exact same thing that I've gone through. And I'm here to tell you to give it to God. Instead of allowing your trial to have a hold on you, allow it to mold you and become the person that you are. Allow it to be a testimony of your life. Go ahead and thank God that He's going to get you out of that trial, that He has a plan for you. Let it become your story. Thank you.